So we just celebrated, what was it? Super Scone Sunday? That was it. Super Scone Sunday. That was a thing. It's going to become a thing. In fact, I'll be very surprised if it doesn't become an annual thing at our church, and then it'll probably take over the world because it was so much fun. Thank you, Jen Brewer. Thank you, Leanne Avery. Thank you, everyone, for pitching in and getting involved and having so much fun gorging ourselves on scones. That was great on Sunday. But on to more serious and weighty matters. We are going to look forward to Pentecost this coming Sunday, and rather than reading a New Testament reading from Acts of the Spirit coming, I want to delve into the Old Testament. And there's a passage in Genesis, and I'm just going to look at it here. Genesis 11 verses 1 to 9. It's actually the story of the Tower of Babel, and it's a story in which we see that human beings are both ingenious and determined, and there's even the claim by God in that text that there's nothing they can't do if they put their minds to it. Basically, if they all get together and decide they want to do a thing, they're going to do it, and that's about it. So that led to God, it seems, deciding to scatter them in their languages so that rather than being able to communicate easily together, they misunderstood each other. It's a nice kind of metaphor really for the way we are all the time with people because even when you speak the same language, so often we're saying very different things and we're missing the point and missing each other. You only need teenagers in your home to really get the full meaning of that. Teenagers that speak the same language as you and yet speak an entirely different language to you. So languages get scattered because the purposes of human beings are generally centered on themselves, often around their survival and their interest in making sure they have all that they need and can't be spread out and scattered, which was their concern. And interestingly, that concern led to exactly that happening when their languages all got babbled, muddled. And why that is important, because it's kind of really important background to the story we then get at the time of the first Pentecost celebration of the early church, where the Holy Spirit comes down and there's tongues of fire and strange languages, although they are actual languages of people groups that were represented in Israel and in Jerusalem at that time, and they spoke these wonderful praises of God in languages that the people who were speaking it hadn't known before, hadn't used before. And then other people who used those languages heard it and understood it and said, hey, they're singing the praises of God in my mother tongue, even though they don't speak it. So that was all a bit weird. And it hints towards something about the restoration of a purpose together that brings about a unity of purpose that isn't merely about the survival of individuals or the survival of subgroups or majorities or anything like that. It's about a unity of purpose that is centered on one who is beyond humanity, one who calls us into life. And so that kind of unity then doesn't scatter us, it draws us together. That kind of purpose, doesn't scatter us, it draws us together. So we're going to have a look at that this Sunday at Mustard Seed. We're going to pray for the Spirit to come and help us enter into that unity of purpose, that deep understanding that can come deeper than any understanding that even language can convey on its own. And we'd love for you to join us online, in person, catching up later on Facebook or YouTube. I don't know, there might be new ways to do it that haven't worked out yet. That sounded wrong. Okay, enough from me. Have a good week. We'll see you Sunday. God bless. Stay faithful.